Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminithi Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatare Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sulanga Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Everyone is born, we live for some time, and then we die. That's the story of everyone's life. Our photographers here, they must have photographed many thousands of people, isn't it? Some famous leaders they photograph, and after some time the famous leaders, they die also. So any person or every person should think, why? What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is that we should be happy. Everyone is looking for happiness. Everything that everyone does at every moment is so they can be happy. Not only humans, even the animals, even the plant that will grow toward the sunshine because they get some nourishment from the light. So everyone wants to be happy. It's a straightforward, easy thing to understand. This is not a religious statement. It's just by religious that means like, not exactly dharma, but more like a sampradayic statement. It's not our opinion, it's just a fact. No one can deny, everyone wants to be happy. So we perform various activities to be happy. However, there are serious obstacles to our attaining happiness in this world. Birth, death, old age, disease, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. Everyone has been sick. Everyone has the experience. Everyone has experienced pain. So when we're in a situation of severe pain, how can we be happy? Everyone has had toothache. Anyone, isn't it? Everyone has had toothache at some point in time. It's just a small thing, the little tooth, but from the tooth we get so much pain. And when there is toothache, then there's nothing we can do to be happy. Simply suffering. So we live all our life, we get some happiness, we get some distress, and then we die. Again, this is not a sampradayic statement, it's just a statement of fact. We're not asking you to believe anything, we're just making statements of fact. So everyone knows this. Even before you came here this evening, you don't need me to tell you that we live for some time, we have some happiness and some distress, and then we die. Everyone knows that. And at least those who are Hindus, they've heard or they have some belief that there is a state called moksha, beyond birth and death. Because Shastra describes that there is repeated birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jarthareshayam. Yeah, we're born again and again, we die again and again we enter the womb of a mother. So you've all heard this, you all know this. So actually, because we want to be happy, we should endeavor for that situation where we can be eternally happy. One time in London, this was, about 35 years ago, I was sitting in the presence of Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder, Acharya of this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And there was an interviewer there from the London Broadcasting Corporation. And the interviewer or the reporter, he asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the purpose of life? And I expected Srila Prabhupada to say something like, well, the purpose of life is to worship Krishna. Or I thought Srila Prabhupada might say that the purpose of life is to perform tapasya. Or I thought that Srila Prabhupada might say that the purpose of life is to get spiritual knowledge. Srila Prabhupada's reply surprised me and probably everyone else in the room. Srila Prabhupada said, the purpose of life is to enjoy. So usually this word enjoy, that is associated with the concept of indriya sukha or sensual enjoyment. And spiritually advanced people, they do not endeavor for sense enjoyment. Yehi sangsparshaja bhoga dukkayona evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that there is a kind of enjoyment which is called sangsparshaja bhoga. It means the pleasure that comes from the interaction of the senses with the sense objects. We like to see things that we think are pleasurable to see. Just like when we are driving from our ashram into the city. If you drive in the city, you'll see so many advertisements for jewelry shops. And there are pictures of beautiful women with gold jewelry. So the idea is that by seeing this, we like to see this. So I suppose the idea is that the women, they should want to buy the jewelry, and then people will like to see them decorated with jewelry. So like this, all the senses. We see something that we like to see. We hear something that we like to hear. We eat nice foods for the pleasure of the tongue. So this gives pleasure. This is sense pleasure. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that what we consider to be pleasure, it is the cause of suffering. Just like this example, this is a Kalyana Mandapam. Kalyana is it means wedding. Kalyana means Kalyana. But the word means something very auspicious, and it also means wedding. You know, vivaham. So people get married and they think everything will be very nice. It might be nice. In the modern age, we find more and more that the marriage is not very happy. But even if the marriage more or less goes well, husband and wife, they're living together peacefully, still there is so much suffering involved. You have to work hard to bring money. There is anxiety. Then when the relatives pass away, there's grief. Children get sick, and then you have so much anxiety. So, again, this is not a religious belief, but it is a fact that whatever we think will bring happiness in this world, there's no happiness without distress. We should come to that position where we can have only happiness. But that is not possible in a situation where we have to get born again and die again, born again, die again, born again, die again. Mosquito. You should be careful. That might be your great-grandmother. Or it might be you in your next life. There are 8,484,000 species of life. So one may think, I am very happy, but then one may end up being a worm in stool. That's a fact. It's not that human life is guaranteed. Human life is very rarely attained. Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahusambhavante manusham arthatam anityam apihadhiram. Turnam yate janapatadanu mrityayava nishrayasaya vishaya kalu sarvatasyat. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said that an intelligent person should not try for sense enjoyment, because suffering is always mixed with that. Now in this shlok I just quoted, that's also spoken by Krishna, but we find this in Srimad Bhagavatam. And he gives or elaborates on the point of the purpose of human life. He says that we have achieved this human birth after many births. Human life is the only opportunity to perform sadhana, to perform bhakti, to get free from the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, we should not spend this human life performing the same kind of activities that we perform in other lives. We should take this opportunity to get free from birth and death. So you may think, well, how is that possible? Maybe some few people, rishis, they do meditation and they perform austerities and they get free from birth and death. Generally, it is a fact that it is very rare and difficult to get free from this samsara. Generally, we can't expect that ordinary people, they can get free from samsara. And especially in this Kali Yuga, where that verse the boys, they were just chanting, Prayanal Payasa Sabya Kalavasmin Yuge Janaha Manda Sumanda Mateo Manda Bhagahi Upudruta. In Kali Yuga, people have short lives. It's unusual that people live after 80 or 90. And people's whole way of thinking is all mixed up. You can see in the modern generation, the young children coming up, from the very beginning, their whole way of thinking is all messed up. In the modern age, the parents, they don't even expect the children to respect them or do what they say. And because people watch television, they become more and more stupid. Actually, there are scientific studies which show that watching TV makes people more and more stupid. And not only intelligence-wise are they stupid, but the whole way of thinking is very crooked. More and more people, they just only care for themselves. Now it started in Chennai, one fashion that's already going on for quite some time. In Bombay, that fashion, you catch the women by the ear and cut off the ear, this lobe of the ear, and then you take the earrings, the gold earrings. Or you catch the gold chain and take it away. So even 10 years ago in Chennai, that couldn't be imagined that would happen. Still in Salem, not happening, I hope. But it's only a matter of time before it comes here. Because the TV and modern education makes people very selfish, that all they care for is me, and just one other thing, me. Somehow or other you have to get money. This whole atmosphere is created. Money. So, we also want money. You can give us all your money if you like. We will use it for building a temple for Krishna. But this idea that I should get money and then I will spend it for drinking and smoking and gambling, this is all sinful. So the whole atmosphere in Kali Yuga is polluted by this very low consciousness. Then how can we even think of moksha in Kali Yuga? That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us to chant the names of Krishna. Harshe Prabhu Kahe Suno Sarup Ram Rai Nam Sankirtan Kalo Parama Upai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said the best means in Kali Yuga for spiritual realization is Nama Sankirtana. In the modern age, no one can do meditation. There are different groups that teach meditation, but it's not genuine. You see, first thing in meditation, you have to sit cross-legged very nicely, but nowadays people, they don't have the practice even to sit cross-legged. Everyone's sitting on chairs. So where's the question of meditation? And meditation means to make the mind very still and calm, but no one can do it. You just can't stop the flow of thoughts coming into the mind. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches Nama Sankirtanam, chant the names of Krishna. And that will give not only moksha, but that will give Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. Generally people have the idea, you get moksha, you just become very peaceful and calm, and then all thoughts are finished. But the purpose of life is to enjoy. In this world, there is no real enjoyment. But this world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. We all know the phrases Satchidananda, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. That is the spiritual world with Krishna. So Satchidananda doesn't mean just to be conscious, but it means to be conscious of Krishna. This touching, tasting, smelling, feeling, hearing, thinking, this indriya sukh in the material world causes distress. But there is the spiritual world with Krishna. There is touching, tasting, smelling, feeling, hearing, thinking, but all in relation with Krishna. We see the form of Krishna, very beautiful form of Krishna. That is not an imaginary form. That is eternal spiritual reality. We all have some body, but the body will die. Krishna never dies. Of course, he makes some pretense like that, but Krishna never dies. Krishna is always this Kishorakriti. He's always in the form of a beautiful young boy. Krishna doesn't represent anything else. He is the ultimate spiritual reality. So full moksha doesn't mean simply to be released from birth and death, but means to go to Krishna, to live with Krishna. Just like we like to see nice things in this world. But when our spiritual consciousness develops, we can appreciate the beauty of Krishna. There are so many prayers by devotees appreciating the beauty of Krishna. Even the effulgence coming from one toenail of Krishna defeats all the beauty of everything in this world. Whatever happiness we can imagine in this world is multiplied millions, billions, zillions of times by any contact with Krishna. So we can eat with Krishna. That's described in Shastra that the cowherd boys on the bank of the Yamuna, they will sit down and they will eat with Krishna. They will play some game. Who can be the first to touch Krishna? And they will chase after Krishna. So we can play with Krishna, we can eat with Krishna, we can dance with Krishna, we can dress Krishna. Yashoda Mai, she dresses Krishna. We can kiss Krishna. This is sense enjoyment, but this is on the fully spiritual Satchidananda platform. Generally people think moksha means just like that. You be some light and some state of consciousness. But full mukti means muktir hitvanyatharupam swarupena vyavastitihi. Full mukti means to be situated to attain our spiritual form to serve Krishna in the spiritual world. So it is very easy to attain that position by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can get free from all misery in this world. We can go to the spiritual world and live with Krishna by chanting the names of Krishna. Nam Japam, Nam Sankirtanam. When we say Nama, that means Harinam, the name of Krishna. Especially this Maha Mantra. Krishna has so many names because he has unlimited transcendental qualities and pastimes. So you all know so many names of Krishna. Ananta, Keshava, Gopinath, Gopal, Govinda, Hrishikesha, Madhusudana, Narayana, Rama. There are so many names of Krishna. You see, we can all say, there are so many names of Krishna. All the names are perfectly expressed by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Very easy to chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very easy. Even if you're, what's that word? Mutal number 1. Still you can chant the Mahamantra. And if Mutal number 1 chants Hare Krishna, he becomes more intelligent than Einstein. You are all more intelligent than Einstein, because you all just chanted Hare Krishna. So Einstein is looking at the whole universe, making equations, but he never thought how to get out of the universe. So if you chant Hare Krishna, you become more spiritually advanced than even someone who's doing meditation for many, many, many years. It's very easy, but it immediately takes us to the highest spiritual platform. So, what we have to say is very simple. You don't need to be a very big brain, huge brain to understand all these things. What do we have to understand? Life in this world is miserable, because there is repeated birth and death. So we should go to that situation where there is no birth and death, where there is only happiness. What is that situation? In the spiritual world with Krishna. So how do we go there? By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. That's all. It's easier to go to Krishna than it is to go to America. If you want to go to America, you have to get a visa. Mostly they say no. You have to get so much money. And then even when you go, they'll ask so many questions. Show your bank account, all this. But to chant Hare Krishna, that's all to go to Krishna, you just chant Hare Krishna, that's all. Even it's easier to go to Krishna than it is to go to Chennai. So why don't we go to Krishna? Well, if we don't chant Hare Krishna and go to Krishna, then we really are Mutal number one. If we know how we can get free from birth and death and get perfect bliss eternally with Krishna, and still we don't do, then we're really stupid. So we're just inviting everyone, please come, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Devotees of Krishna are building a temple for Krishna in Salem. What is the purpose of that temple? You come, you experience the spiritual atmosphere of bliss, of love of Krishna. Actually, the temple isn't built, but already the atmosphere is there. Because just like devotees just now, they were chanting, doing Sankirtanam, and then chanting shlokas. So that you will find there already. So we just want to make a nice big temple so more and more people can come. So please come and you can take part, you can experience the spiritual atmosphere. I think many of you may have already visited there, is it? How many of you have visited that Hare Krishna Koil in Karupur? Yeah, many, almost all. Very good, thank you. So the idea is, you can make that spiritual atmosphere in your home also. You see, previously in India, everyone used to get up early and they'd spend at least 1 hour or 2 hours doing japam or dhyanam or puja. Nowadays, people have lost that culture. But you can do in your own home also. Rise early in the morning, have arati for Krishna, do Sankirtan with your family members, do Nam Japam, and then you can study Gita and Bhagavatam, and you will find the bliss of Krishna Bhakti in your own home. So you do that every day, all your life, and then you have to die, and then where will you go? You'll go to Krishna. So very simple, very nice, very blissful. How we can go beyond birth and death by Krishna Nama and go to Krishna in the spiritual world. And then no more coming back to this material world. So everything's clear. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then if anyone has any question, they can... Yeah, this man has a question. You can tell everyone there's prasadam for everyone, they should not go without. Where is it being served? Where's prasadam? Yeah, okay. Please don't go without taking prasadam. Please. That's the answer. Now what's the question? Both.
Whom we can follow?
If you follow both, the same. Krishna says, Sarvadhaman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami masucha. Surrender to me, I will deliver you from all sins. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to chant the name of Krishna. The result is the same. That's all.
I'm a simple person working in factory, simple labor. You explained that the process is very simple process. So by following this simple process, staying with the simple process, can we go to Krishna?
Definitely. Nischitam. Sampurna Nischitam. Absolutely sure. You see, you don't have to be a big, wealthy person or very learned to go to Krishna. Krishna never says that first of all you have to have 1 crore of rupees, then you can bribe Giant Vijay at the gates of Vaikuntha and go inside. He never says any such thing. Nowadays 1 crore is not enough for bribes, even in this world. You have to have like at least 10 crores or 20 crores or something like that. Krishna never says that first of all you have to get an MSc, then you can come to me. You just chant Hare Krishna with faith and love, you can go to Krishna.
I saw the posters and I saw the ad and then I came for this program. And how we can get real peace.
Yeah, same thing. You chant Hare Krishna. I think he should meet Krishna Das Prabhu. Is he here, Krishna Das Prabhu? Here. This is Krishna Das. He can tell you everything. You please meet him just now.
We hear about this dharma. Actually, who started this dharma? How this dharma we are influenced with this dharma?
We are in this material world due to forgetfulness of Krishna. When we don't want to serve Krishna, then we want to enjoy our senses, and we perform activities for sense enjoyment. That produces reactions, and it goes on and on and on and on. Exactly how and when it started may be very difficult to ascertain, exactly. But if we understand what the problem is, we understand the solution, which is to chant Hare Krishna, then exactly how it began, we don't need to understand. Just like the doctor, he sees you have some disease, what is the treatment? Exactly how you got the disease, that is not the main concern. So in general, we understand that it's due to inimical attitude toward Krishna. So the solution to that is to become favorable to Krishna, to do Krishna Bhakti. The reactions of karma, it's very complex, like a very complex knot. Just like if you get some string and it's all in one, tangled in one big knot, it's very difficult to untangle it. And if you think, how did it get tangled like that, you can't work it out at all. So if you try to untangle it, it becomes more tangled. But if you just get a chopper, like opening the coconut, and you chop right through it, then it's open, the knot is open. So like that, if we try to understand and untangle, it's hopeless. So we can just chop through Maya with the sword of knowledge. The knowledge that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. This cuts through all Maya, finishes it, finished.
While we are born, the Lord has given us intelligence also. So
Given us what?
while we are born, the Lord has also given us intelligence. So we use the intelligence, we can overcome the karma.
We have intelligence, but there are limits to our intelligence. Simply by intelligence, we cannot, just like that. You may be very intelligent, but if you have a big knot, however intelligent you are, by intelligence alone you can't open it.
ஆனா வெளியே போயிட்டு இந்த பௌதிக வாழ்க்கையை அட்டாக் பண்ணுது, கவர்ச்சி சுவைகள், போட்டோவெல்லாம் அட்டாக் பண்ணுது. நம்ம அதை எப்படி கிருஷ்ணருக்கு கொண்டாடுறது?
Now I'm hearing the preaching here. It is inspiring. When I go home, I see the pictures, photos, and all these things are completely captured in my mind. How to overcome this and then practice Krishna?
Yeah. Well, you have to become strong in bhakti. I also see the pictures. Just like I told you, I saw all the jewelry advertisements. But by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, we see with the Shastra Chakshu, the eye of scriptural knowledge, so that we can see that this is all worthless. We can't stop seeing the posters, but we can stop being attracted by that. If we get strength from doing sadhana, from doing bhakti, then we become inoculated. Yeah. Okay. So we'll finish that. No, there's a question. Give here.
Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Sri Krishna, Bhagavan.
You're talking about Krishna. I'm also accepting that there is Krishna. I'm also reading desire and I want to see Krishna. How do I see Krishna?
Yeah. You chant Hare Krishna first. That is the best sadhana for Kali Yuga. Then gradually we can see Krishna, we can touch Krishna, you can feed Krishna, everything will come. But first we have to chant Hare Krishna. Then one lady here has a question. What's the question?
She has a mentally retarded state, and because of the lot of sufferings, how do I deal with it?
How do you deal with it?
I'm living with you. I always mingle with you. I'm doing all services.
Maybe you just speak without the mic and then you can explain.
She has gone for many years, normal state of mind. Swami in abnormal state is born. So how Swami in abnormal state is born? For many normal state is born. And for me, abnormal state is born, who is mentally retarded. So I am all the time doing service training, it's very difficult and painful, all the things. Is it my fate? Is it a fate or what?
Yeah, that's how we understand it. It's increasingly common in the modern age. Some, they don't have children at all. And some have children who are rascals and they beat the parents. But actually a child like that, in one sense, they have a great advantage. Because they can do no sin. So you give them Krishna Prasadam and you chant Hare Krishna to them and they can get all spiritual benefit. So what is a material disadvantage can turn into a great spiritual advantage. You see, many people come to us and tell us that we're suffering like this, one way, another way. But you can always consider that however much you're suffering, someone is suffering more, and you yourself could be suffering more. You could have a child who's very intelligent and everything, but he beats you. That's also there. So whatever the situation is, we can convert it to a spiritual situation by chanting the names of Krishna. So like that. You chant Hare Krishna to your child, give him Krishna Prasadam, and you will get spiritual benefit, he will get spiritual benefit, and you can both go to the spiritual world. And the jiva that is presently in that body can get a fully spiritual body with full, clear spiritual intelligence. Whatever the situation is, it's temporary. For some time, he has to suffer in that situation, you have to suffer. It's all temporary. So we shouldn't be too much affected by anything in this world.
After the death, where the soul goes?
That depends on what we do in this life. You chant Hare Krishna, you'll go to Krishna. You don't chant Hare Krishna, well, there are many places you can go to. But everywhere in this world is full of suffering. So better go to Krishna.
It is said that those who do not have children, they may practice bhakti, they may give charity, and and they will do all kinds of pious activities, but they can never go to God. Is it how far these statements are true?
Yeah, some people say that, but Krishna doesn't say that. You can go to Krishna. You can have Krishna as your child.
So even if there is no child, if you practice Bhakti, you can go back to Krishna?
Yes.
We say that in the last 10 years, they never had a child, and they are advised to recite Vishnu Sahasranam. So they sincerely recite Vishnu Sahasranam, and in the last 2 months, his wife had conceived. So holy name works. So that's the realization.
Very nice. Hare Krishna.
So we observed that recently, from the age group of 20 to 40, so many accidents are happening. Specifically, family people, they are dying, and also those who are educated are dying. Such a thing is happening.
Well, everything happens in this world because of something we do, we get a reaction. So exactly why, in which case, it may be difficult to say. But generally we see that people are going further and further away from dharma. People are eating meat, drinking alcohol, smoking, indulging in illicit sexual activities. So we can expect there will be reactions to this.
So if we indulge in meat eating, if we take meat, what kind of reactions, what are the problems that we face?
It's easier to say if you say what problems won't you face, it's easier to say. It means you have to suffer so many sinful reactions. They say that if you eat meat, you become strong. But you see that, but their body is not strong. The elephant is a vegetarian. It's very strong.
Nowadays people are addicted to cell phones, and they're driving, and then they're eating a lot of meat, and they're taking a lot of flesh of the goat, and as a result there's a lot of heart attacks, so many problems are happening. We are constantly seeing so many negative things people are doing, and they're indulging more in that. Why that is increasing? Why people are like this?
Well, there's propaganda for that. So we are making propaganda. Don't eat meat, don't take intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Alright, so now you all please take Krishna Prasadam, and you can take books also, Srila Prabhupada. What about, we have the CDs, Tamil CDs we have? Of lectures? Yeah, tell me. There are CDs of my lectures with Tamil translation, and there should be CDs of lectures in English and Tamil also. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.